What initiatives and efforts will you be targeting to attract private sector employment to the greater Springfield area? We often see how the Boston area is growing with new construction, new employers moving in and expanding, and in Springfield, all we hear about is a casino and a train station. So please be specific as to how you would approach attracting new economic development to this region. And Chip, you can begin.
Okay, thank you. As I mentioned in my opening statement, I do feel that public safety and economic development go hand in hand. One thing I talked about 2 years ago was something called gateway cities. Gateway cities is for communities around the size of 35,000 to about 250,000. So Chicopee and Springfield fall well within that. There's currently not a real public safety component to that. And I think that needs to be done. There needs to be some funding put into public safety specifically for that, so that we can revitalize our neighborhoods. Government has a role to develop things, but the private sector should be incentivized to bring more jobs into this area that we have. So if we can add a public safety component, it's going to clean up these neighborhoods. It's going to clean up some of the storefronts. Right where the office is that I've been using on Sumner Ave, there's too many boarded up buildings over there. And there's too many boarded up buildings in Chicopee and Ludlow and other places as well too. Those areas need to be cleaned up. New streetscaping, more lighting, public safety, parking for people where they can feel safe when they're going to go in the area. That's going to bring small businesses to this area. But on a larger global scale, I guess you could say, precision manufacturing is incredibly important in this area. There's a tremendous amount of jobs that are completely unfilled. One thing I've talked about recently is that we need to start reintroducing in our elementary schools more trades to encourage kids to get into the trades. We're so hyper-focused on getting kids to college by passing this test that we're taking our eye off the ball. If we can introduce some kind of trade into the middle school level, these kids can kind of get their hands dirty and get involved in a trade to see whether they like it or not. We've got some great trade schools in the area, but usually those students have to make a decision by their freshman or sophomore year whether they want to go that track or not. Some students may find out early on that that's the way they want to go, but they need to be incentivized to do that. With precision manufacturing, that's where we can get some people going right out of high school into really well-paying jobs. And there's a need in this area for those specific jobs. And we'll get into more detail later about how we can incentivize more businesses to get here, but I don't want to take up more time than
Thanks so much, Chip.
Well, thanks for the question. It's an important one. It's really at the heart of what this is all about, because let's be honest, the default for us in Western Massachusetts is to get left out and left behind. And what we've seen is, and the data really shows this, is that overall the economy in Massachusetts is actually doing pretty well. Our unemployment rate statewide is lower than the national average. Our income levels are higher than the national average. We've recovered from the Great Recession faster than the national average. But the important piece of that is it's not felt here in Western Massachusetts. And the statistics do show, as Chip said, that we are losing our young people. We're not retaining enough of our young families. And we're not building out and growing our economy fast enough and at the speed we need to improve lifestyles. So what do we do about that? Well, there's a lot of things that we've been working on, and there's a lot more things that we want to continue to push forward on. I'm grateful to hear that Chip is a supporter of our Gateway Cities initiative. That was a program that actually began under Governor Deval Patrick, has continued under Governor Baker, and I'm a member of the Gateway Cities Caucus in the Senate, and will be potentially assuming a leadership role, I hope, or would like to in the next term. What does that mean? It means coordinating efforts around economic development in the cities like Springfield that have been working hard to better connect themselves to the innovation and the knowledge-focused economies all around us. So what are the things we need to do very specifically? Right now in the 4 counties of Western Massachusetts, there are more than 7,000 vacant positions in advanced manufacturing and precision machining, as Chip mentioned. More than 7,000 vacant jobs, open positions for people to take right now. These are very, very good jobs that can pay median salaries of around $70,000 a year. The issue is that we're not producing enough skilled and qualified workers in our local schools and in our training centers to meet that demand. Just think about the untapped potential there of 7,000 positions paying $70,000 a year going unfilled. Think about the families that can't buy homes. Think about the other development and the other output that's lost because we don't take that on. So what have we done about that? Well, we've worked to coordinate our job training and our voc ed programs to better match up our local educational institutions and our training centers with our local employers. That was the idea behind the new precision machining program at the Lower Pioneer Valley Education Collaborative, which Ludlow and Longmeadow, your question was from Longmeadow, are members of. The idea behind this is that kids take their academic classes in the morning, then they jump on a bus, they go over to that center, and they learn things like CNC operating, CAD/CAM programming. Those are the types of programs we need to expand on, we need to build out on, and we need to continually work to build connections and build collaborations between our employers and our local businesses.